What's up, Miami Boys? It is Wednesday. Sorry for the late videos and no video last week. Let me, in full transparency, talk to you guys about what I've been dealing with. Okay? Which is not allowing me to do what I need to do for you guys. YouTube changed their going live stream. We may have to go back to Instagram. I'll find some different options, but because I don't have the followers, and I will send out a text letting you guys see what I've been dealing with, along with, of course, been dealing with some stuff on my computer. YouTube is not allowing me to go live. So that's unfortunate. I'm going to post this video on there. Hopefully I'm able to do that. But what happened is that I don't meet the requirements anymore of their new policy. So that's pretty much unfortunate, but the show must go on. I'm sure some of you want the videos, and I want to give you those videos because unfortunately we're not there yet, but hopefully we'll get there. But it is what it is. The state of the league must go on. So if we have to do it in this platform, or if we have to do it in an Instagram platform, then we will do that. So you know how it goes. We go ahead and we talk about what happened in week 4. We go ahead and we preview week 5 in the NFL season. Then we go ahead and we talk about the award-winning categories, or yet to be award-winning categories. And then after that, we go ahead and we address what happened in Miami Boyz week 4, and then we go ahead and we preview week 5. You know how it goes. Hopefully this video will rectify and go ahead and take care of the sounds and the stuff that we haven't had these last couple of weeks. I will rewatch this video and we will make the improvements as needed. Sorry that this video is coming so late, but I've been fighting back and forth via email with YouTube, and it has not gone well. So here we go. All right. Let's talk about what happened in week 4. All right. On the Thursday night game, you had the Rams versus the Packers. David Montgomery came back and totally killed it. Never have I ever, in many, many years, have had a running back get 32 carries. You had to be watching NFL in the 80s and the 90s to see a running back get 32 carries. Welcome back, David Montgomery. Lions end up winning 34-20. In the if you woke up as early as I did, in the 9:30 a.m. stinker, you had the Falcons versus the Jaguars. All right, let me say this, and I'm sure most of you know this. Let me say this again. Okay, you want to talk about mismanagement? You want to talk about bad coaching? You had Arthur Smith, does not know it. Last week you were a passing team. This week you were half a passing, half a running, and actually, I feel like the Jaguars should have more than 23 points. They beat the Falcons 23-7. What a waste. Why are the Falcons wasting Bijan? Why are the Falcons wasting Kyle Pitts? I feel you on that, Henny. Why are the Falcons wasting Drake London? I don't know. I mean, of course, if you have Bijan, you got to start him. But right now, I don't know what they're doing. And then Trevor Lawrence, what are you doing? You have weapons and you're not throwing to them. Calvin Ridley's stats on this were abysmal. And it's sad to see that Jonnu Smith had 6 catches for 95 yards. What are we doing? What are we doing here? I am not looking forward to watching the Bills and Jaguars 9:30 a.m. on Sunday. Keeping it moving. Dolphins versus Bills. Dolphins got humbled, and sometimes you need a swift kick in the mouth, or you need your ass kicked to realize that you're not here, but you're here. And it's up to you to fix it. Bills beat Dolphins 48-20. They blew us out. Only good thing, Devin A. Chain looks like he's a number 1 back. Stephon Diggs, you can go ahead and say that you're him because you torched us. We didn't make the necessary adjustments, and we will do that. It's not a down year. It's only the first loss of the year for the Dolphins. We move, 5-minute spread, no sound. Next up, battle of the winless teams. Bears versus Broncos. Broncos beat the Bears 31-28. This was abysmal because the Bears actually had the lead, and they went ahead and they lost the lead, and then the Broncos came back and won the game 31-28. Justin Fields finally had a good game, but it was in a wasted effort. So it is what it is. Let's see. Next up, Ravens-Browns. Mr. Massage, he's not getting massage. He couldn't massage the shoulder, so he was scratched from the game. Ravens took full advantage of that, beat the Ravens 28-3 on the legs of Lamar Jackson and the catches of Mark Andrews. What I don't understand is, I thought the Ravens were supposed to be this new passing team, and now they're not doing that no more. So I don't know. It's just really, I don't know. But it is what it is. But we'll figure it out. And we'll see if the Ravens can be they've lost all their running backs, so you might as well be a passing team. So let's see what happens with that. Next up, the upset of the week, in my opinion, Titans beat the Bengals 27-3. The Bengals will not do the right thing and rest Joe Burrow. So what did it cost them? It cost them T. Higgins. T. Higgins out for the foreseeable future with cracked ribs. You have Jamar Chase cursing at the media, saying he's always bleep open. You know, the Titans are so bad, Derrick Henry played quarterback. I don't know, but Derrick Henry was the player of the game this game. 22 carries, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. Kudos to the Titans for being 2-2. The Bengals, you will be on teams that need to win to save their season. Moving on. The Rams won in overtime over the Colts, 29-23. 29-23. I mean, if you watch this game like I did, one thing needs to be said. Who is Tutu Atwell? Who is Kieran Williams? Who is Puka Nacua? Puka Nacua ends the game with a game-winning touchdown, 9 catches, 163 yards, 1 touchdown. Kieran Williams, 25 carries, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns against a good Colts defense. I am literally shooting myself because I had Kieran Williams and I let him go. Who knew? If you say you knew, you're lying. You're lying. And Pakuna Matata. Who is Puka Nacua? I think only myself and the Commish, who actually has Puka Nacua, knew about Puka Nacua. And he beat me to him. Puka Nacua. If it wasn't for CJ Stroud, would be your Rookie of the Year #1 candidate right now. Next up. Let's see. Next up, we have Buccaneers Saints. Who is a bigger surprise than Baker Mayfield? Buccaneers are 3-1. Everybody had the Buccaneers for dead. If you say you didn't, you're lying to yourself. Buccaneers win 26-9. Shame on the Saints. Shame on the Saints. You had no trust in Jameis Winston, and you went ahead and you rolled a 50% Derek Carr out there to lose this game for you, 26-9. I don't know who's running the Saints. Absolutely horrible job. Kudos to the Buccaneers because the Buccaneers are supposed to be worse than what it was. But Baker Mayfield is giving a big middle finger to all those other teams out there that thought he was done. Kudos to Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. Moving on. In one of the most entertaining games of Sunday, you had the Eagles versus Commanders. Eagles win 34-31 in overtime. A.J. Brown did his thing. DeAndre Swift did his thing. Jalen Hurts did his thing. this whole butt push thing, man. I think they perfected it. Commanders, I give you kudos. You tried, but it wasn't enough. Eagles, only unbeaten team at 4-0, along with the Niners. Dolphins killed that, but Dolphins, we'll see the Eagles in a couple of weeks. Eagles move on to fight another day. Minnesota Vikings finally got their first win. They beat the Panthers 21-13. Bryce Young, it's not it. You know, I respect Bryce Young. I respect what he did in Alabama, but it seems like the NFL isn't working out for him. Panthers are 0-4. JJ did his thing, Kirk Cousins did his thing, and Alexander Mattison, with the signing of Cam Akers, finally had a good game. And we'll see if the Minnesota Vikings can keep that going. So, next up, Steelers lose to the Texans. The Texans, who have a makeshift offensive line made of third stringers, C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Dameon Pierce. Dare I say the Texans are a sleeper? They win 30-6. Everybody expected the Texans to have 0 wins. They have 2 wins. The Steelers, almost. They dodged a bullet. They almost lost Kenny Pickett. Texans win 30-6. C.J. Stroud looks like he's been in the league for 4+ years. Looks like a veteran and not a rookie. Moving on to one of the stinkier games of the night. Chargers versus Raiders. Khalil Mack had 6 sacks. It should have really been probably 11. But Chargers win 24-17. Heading into the bye week, they lost Mike Williams. They almost lost their quarterback. He only broke his middle finger. But he gave the middle finger to the Raiders. Aiden O'Connell realized that this isn't preseason. This is the real deal. And he couldn't do anything against the Chargers as he got sacked 6 times. Kudos to the Chargers. Sucks for the Raiders and their horrible head coach. Next up, Patriots-Cowboys. Cowboys decimated the Patriots, and I love to see it. 38-3. Multiple interceptions by Mac Jones. Cowboys didn't have to do much as their defense took care of it. And Cowboys are fraudulent. I still call them frauds. They're a fraudulent 3-1. Nothing more that I love to see than the Patriots, Jets, and Bills lose. Next up, the Cardiac Cards. I'm going to call them, until they start losing, I'm going to call them the Cardiac Cards. They lost 35-3 and got steamrolled by the 49ers. They gave a valiant effort, but they lost 35-3. It was the Christian McCaffrey show. He had 3 touchdowns rushing and 1 touchdown receiving. 49ers are for real. Eagles are for real. But I know that they're eventually going to have to play each other. So we would love to see how that goes. Welcome back, Brandon Ayuk. 6 catches, 148 yards. Amazing. So, and Deebo Samuels, no catches. Cost me on that one. Because I had him for 45 yards, did nothing. But he didn't have to. When your team's that good and CMC is doing what he's doing, you don't have to have any catches. That shows how dominant San Francisco and their defense is. And last but not least, in the Taylor Swift, again, you had Chiefs-Jets. Chiefs barely win. I want to say this right now, and you might disagree with me. Chiefs are frauds. They're barely been winning. They barely beat Jacksonville last week, scoring, 17, 19 points? They beat the Jets in a bad Zach Wilson, who had probably his best game of the year with 245 yards and 2 TDs. 23-20. Travis Kelce didn't do anything. I guess the Taylor Swift buzz is starting to battle. But Isaiah Pacheco picked up the slack with 20 carries, 115 yards, and 1 touchdown. So kudos to the Chiefs, but I think that they're frauds. The Giants are up there for worst teams in the NFL. They scored 3 points, have one of the worst offensive lines, and their best player who they didn't want to pay, but they paid their horrible quarterback, is not playing because he's hurt, and they lost to the Seahawks 24-3. Seahawks had 11 sacks, pick 6. There is no excuse for the Dolphins not to get the same score that they got against the Broncos against the Giants. absolutely horrible for the Giants. Seahawks are 3-1, and it should be interesting going forward. So there you have it. That is your Week 4 scores. Now let's look ahead to Week 5. Week 5. On Thursday, you have a stinker with the Bears versus the Commanders. Bears are 0-4, looking for their first win. Commanders are looking to clean up some stuff. That should be a complete stinker. Low scoring. Take the under if you got it. Starting off at 9:30 a.m., you heard me reference this a few minutes ago. You got the Jaguars versus Bills. I expect a blowout by the Bills. Jaguars are struggling, but the Bills had to travel. So, I don't know. It might be closer than we think, but I expect the Bills to win on this one. I actually picked them in my survivor pool. Next up, Texans-Falcons. I'm picking the Texans over the Falcons because of the Falcons' horrible coach, Arthur Smith, and he does not know how to use his key players. I expect C.J. Stroud and the Texans to win this one in a blowout. Panthers-Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown is injured right now, but they do get Jameson Williams back. But with the running game and with Bryce Young being Bryce Young, I expect the Lions to win this in a blowout. Titans-Colts. This is going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. I'm expecting the Titans to pull it out because of their run defense and them stopping Anthony Richardson. Next up, like I said, you heard me say 2 minutes ago, Dolphins versus Giants. I expect the defense to. This is the get right game. The Dolphins defense has sucked for the whole year. Vic Fangio, we paid you a lot of money. I expect the Dolphins defense to feast on the Giants. I'm not expecting 11 sacks like Seattle did. It would be great if they got it, but I expect at least no less than 6 sacks. And I expect the Dolphins in a gigantic blowout over the Giants. Saints versus Patriots. The Patriots suck. The Saints suck, but I think the Saints will go ahead and they will pull it out, and they will go ahead and they will beat. The Saints will beat the Patriots. Ravens Steelers. They say Kenny Pickett will play. He had a bone bruise. He avoided major injury, but the Ravens defense is for real. Steelers defense sucks, especially without Cam Hayward. I expect the Ravens to blow out the Steelers. This one is one of my games of the week, believe it or not. At 4:05, I have the Eagles versus the Rams, and I have this game a lot closer than probably people think. I expect the Rams to compete, but I expect the Eagles to pull out this game. But the Rams, don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think the Rams and Pakuna Matata, Puka Nacua, Kieran Williams, Tutu Atwell, I expect them to keep it close with the Eagles. Bengals-Cardinals. The Cardiac Cards. I'm picking them in the upset over the Bengals. I am picking the Cardinals in the upset over the Bengals. The Bengals are underachievers. The Cardinals have a never say die attitude, and I think that they beat the Bengals. I hate to say it. Jets-Broncos. Jets-Broncos, I think that the Jets will go ahead and they will win this against the Broncos. Breece Hall, no more restrictions. They will unleash Breece Hall. They will go to Garrett Wilson, and the Jets will win this game, as much as I hate to say that. Chiefs-Vikings, you know what? Casey's only favored by 4. I think the Vikings, if they play a complete game, maybe can do an upset. I don't think Taylor Swift is going to be in Minnesota. But let's see if the Vikings can pull it out. I'm sure a lot of people are picking the Chiefs, but Chiefs are playing like dog crap right now. So, game of the week, primetime, 8:20. 49ers against the fraudulent Cowboys. I expect the 49ers to humble the Cowboys and blow them out. And last but not least, for week 5, Packers versus Raiders on Monday Night Football. The Raiders suck. Their coach sucks. I expect the Packers to do enough to go ahead and blow them out. And there you have it. That is your week 4 results and week 5 preview. Moving on. All right. All right, here we go. You know what it is. These are the categories. These are what you want. The award-winning categories. First off, we have 5 flyers. 5 flyers flying up the charts. These guys are doing what they need to do, helping you win fantasy games and putting up monster numbers as they fly up the chart. There's some people that should have been on this list, but unfortunately they're rookies, so we saved them for our rookie categories. The 5 flyers flying up the charts. Nico Collins. If you would have told me at the beginning of the year that Nico Collins would be putting up the numbers that he would be putting up, I would have to call the police on you and tell them that you're smoking meth. Derrick Henry, finally. Slowly but surely, Derrick Henry's getting it going. Not only did he put up over 100 yards rushing on Sunday, but he also took over quarterback duties for Ryan Tannehill and went ahead and threw a touchdown as well. Welcome back, Derrick Henry. AJ Brown, basically, I hate to say it like this, I'm not going to say that he cried, but did he cry? Yes, he did cry. And he went ahead and cried, and he's been getting the ball ever since. Sorry, Devontae Smith owners, but he's killing it right now. Putting up monster numbers, destroying teams, and being the A.J. Brown that we know. I just wish that he wouldn't have cried to do it. So, next up, what do teams say when they see this guy? Christian McCaffrey single-handedly has gotten Chino 3 stud of the weeks already. CMC, 4 touchdowns. Being what a healthy CMC is, and everybody loves CMC. But CMC is CMC, and you keep doing what you're doing, Chino. All right. Next up, something that I'm proud of. Isaiah Pacheco finally got a chance to run. And, I mean, he just took it there. And he put up career-high numbers. And thank you, Isaiah Pacheco, for finally showing that I was right when I picked you up off the waiver wire a couple years ago.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
And you are ready. And I hope that they keep giving you the ball. And welcome back. Welcome back, Brandon Ayuk. Again, helping Chino win stud of the week. Deebo Samuel got no catches, but Brandon Ayuk said, "Don't worry, hold my beer," and said, "I'll take care of it," as he had over 140 yards receiving. So kudos to that. Those are my flyers flying up the radar. Now we go to the award-winning fast. As we know, we changed the name now. Fast falling and fade 'em. Fast falling, fade 'em. Fast falling, fade 'em. Fade 'em, fade 'em, fade 'em, fade 'em, fade 'em.
Oh shit, not good. Oh shit, not good.
Not good at all. Danny Dimes got paid and is 100% regressing. Horrible performance. Sacked 11 times. Pick 6. That's all you need to know. Moving on.
Oh shit, not good.
Kenny Pickett almost. We thought that he almost tore his ACL, PCL, MCL, but thank God, it was only a bone bruise. Only a bone bruise saved my season because I would be down to, not that many good quarterbacks. So I'm speaking personally for me. Not good. Steelers are not good. Offensive coordinator not good. I don't want to start them, but there are some times where you don't have a choice you don't have a choice when you don't have a choice, right? So, Steelers season is quote unquote somewhat saved. That's how I feel when I watch the Steelers offense. Like I'm watching it in chipmunk speed. Next up, Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy. What I thought would be a monster season after missing time and everything like that, Jerry Jeudy has continued to not do nothing. Now, granted, even though the Broncos got a win, he's still on the bad team. And just do something, man. Do something, Jerry. And I don't know if it's the offense or what's going on, but do something. Raheem Mostert. 2 fumbles after a historic week. You made this list because you cost us. Like, you can't fumble like that. If you're going to do like that, then A-Chain needs to, needs to get the ball more. Raheem Mostert, you made the list. Sad day when the Saints offense doesn't trust Jameis Winston. And they put a 50% Derek Carr in. The corpse of Derek Carr did nothing, and the Saints lost the game against Tampa Bay. All right, so it is what it is. Another person that's on the way down, sorry, Chino, Calvin Ridley. Yeah, he got the touchdown, but he looked like he was going to be putting up record numbers in the first game. But, I mean, like, what do you have, 2 or 3 catches? Like, come on, man. Next up, we're putting in the ground, Desmond Ridder. They say that you're a product of your environment, and I understand. Believe me, I understand. I despise your coach. But you are absolutely buried. You're horrible. You're horrible. When Jonnu Smith is your leading receiver, when you have Drake London and Kyle Pitts, you need to look at yourself in the mirror. Next up, and this is on coaching and on Bengals management, but Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow should be benched until after the bye week. You got to get that leg taken care of, man. You're doing a team a disservice. You got T. Higgins. You got his ribs broken. Where do you guys go? You guys are on another category of here of teams that need to try to save their season. With another loss, your season's done. Especially in the division you're in with the Browns, who are much improved, and the Ravens, who are on fire right now. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Next up, Mac Jones. Mac Jones. How many interceptions did you have? Like 3? Or whatever you got benched for Bailey Zappi. It's only this much before you're replaced. And I love to see it because I hate the Patriots. But, you're fading, falling fast and fade him. There, Mac Jones. Keenan Allen. You were supposed to, Mike Williams is, of course, he's hurt again. He's in Southwest Regional. But you couldn't take advantage of the Raiders? And you put up that abysmal performance? Ugh. Not good, Keenan. Not good. Not good. Hopefully you pick it up. I got the utmost faith in you until you get injured. But let's see what happens. All right. Whew. Let's see. Now it's time for 5 rooks that cook. 5 rooks that cook. First up, Bijan Robinson. You're on a horrible team. You have no quarterback, and you're doing what you can do. You're getting over 100 yards while not getting that many carries. Imagine if Bijan would have the 32 carries that David Montgomery had. 14 carries, over 100 yards. It's criminal. It's criminal how Arthur Smith is using you, is using Drake London, and is using Kyle Pitts. Jonnu Smith should not be the leading receiver on that team. So I apologize, Bijan, but you are still cooking in the limited capacity that you are in. Next up, Devon A-Chain. I keep saying A-Chain. Give me some time, people. Achan. Devon Achan. Thank you. All right. And a butt whipping by the Dolphins clearly looks to be the real deal. Clearly looks to be the number 1 running back. Let's see how Mike McDaniels uses him going forward. Kudos to Devon Achane, over 100 yards in a loss versus the Bills. Next up, C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud. Absolutely money. Absolutely money. Over 1,200 yards with a third-rate offensive line. Even Damian Pierce is running the ball. You turn Tank Dell, according to Future, even though he didn't do nothing this week, but according to Future, matter of fact, here you go, Future. You're taking receivers and putting up gaudy numbers. Nico Collins looks like a top 5 wide receiver in this league. C.J. Stroud looks poised. Looks like he's going to be Rookie of the Year. C.J. Stroud is a rook that cooks. Next up, this guy needs no introduction. Absolutely money. Pakuna Matata, Puka Nakua, leads the NFL in receiving yards. I'm anxious to see what happens when Cooper Kupp comes back. But right now, he's giving DBs emotional damage. He's giving DBs emotional damage right now. Puka Nakua is catching everything. He's getting the yards, and kudos to him with the game winner against the Colts. Puka Nakua is the real deal. But again, I'm not going to temper expectations, but I want to see how he is when Cooper Kupp comes back. Next up, cooking 2 weeks in a row right now, so excuse me for that. Cooking 2 weeks in a row, Michael Wilson. Mr. Irrelevant, Michael Wilson. The cardiac cards. You heard me say it here. The cardiac cards, and we will be bringing Denny Green on later. The cardiac cards. Michael Wilson, quietly in the last 3 weeks, 3 touchdowns, good yardage. He's doing his thing, and I think Josh Dobbs has found his guy. Michael Wilson is starting to cook, and he's starting to become a household name week to week. All right, so those are the rooks that are cooking. Now we go to the rooks that are shook. there's the intro for the Rooks that are shook. First up, Jamar Gibbs. Put on that red nose, Jamar. Jamar Gibbs. David Montgomery. 32 carries. That's all I gotta say. You were drafted high, but your usage with David Montgomery running like that will continue to be low. I don't know where you fit in. I don't know where you fit in this offense. Mikey, temper expectations. Temper expectations. Because the numbers aren't there, my friend. The numbers aren't there. Next up, Bryce Young. That's what I hear when I see defensive linemen chasing after Bryce Young. That's what I imagine that I hear. Bryce Young, I loved him in Alabama. I'm just gonna say it right now. He's not built for the NFL. Not built for the NFL, and I don't know where it goes from here, man. I really don't. I don't even know what to say, man. Like I don't see Carolina winning a game this year. I think they might be the new Browns that go 0-16. I don't see them winning as long as they keep him at quarterback. Maybe if they have Andy Dalton at quarterback, they might do something. But right now, it's like it's just frustrated fans that are saying that. Yeah, I feel your pain. Next up, excuse me. Hold on. Let's put him to rest. Jonathan Mingo. Jonathan Mingo, you had the slot. You got Adam Thielen. You got DJ Shark on one side or whatever. We don't even hear your name. We don't even hear your name. Record scratch. Like, you are disappeared. Like, I don't know. I mean, you were great at Ole Miss. I don't know what's going on in the NFL, Jonathan Mingo. Hold on. Next up, scratch the record. Quentin Johnson. Mike Williams went down with his 85th injury. Yet you can't do nothing? Thank God your team won, but you did absolutely nothing. What did you have, like 2 catches? At 6'4" and supposed to be this guy? And on top of that, you're starting? Nah, man. Next up, Rashee Rice. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this Commish? Am I calling out all your receivers? Hey, I didn't mean it this way, but this is 5 rooks that are shook. Next up, Rashee Rice. I don't know what's going on with the receiver situation in Kansas City, but not looking good. They don't know who they want to throw to other than Kelsey. Matter of fact, hey, Commish, actually Noah Gray got in and went ahead and got a touchdown. You know it's bad when Noah Gray scored a touchdown and your receivers aren't. But it's okay because you own all the receivers in KC. All the receivers in KC. Hopefully you figure it out. And the KC figures it out. Those are your 5 rooks that are shook. All right, teams that pissed off the fantasy gods. Teams that pissed off the fantasy gods.
If you got a little dick and I'm not gonna answer. I met that boy in the club, he a dancer. Yeah. I better suck on his dick, though. I took the guy in his rim, yeah. He said that big booty right on my cock, and that BBC right on my chin.
Whoa. All right. Sorry about that. Hopefully we won't get shut down because of that. Teams that piss off the fantasy gods. Number 1, Pittsburgh. Until they fire their offensive coordinator or they figure it out, I don't know what to say about Pittsburgh. Next up, Cincy. You got to sit down Joe Burrow. T. Higgins is already hurt, everything like that. You guys have a bye week, I think in week 5 or week 6. Sit him down. Sit down Joe Burrow. Next up, New Orleans. Don't cut off your nose to spite your face. Sit down Derek Carr. Let his shoulder heal. Start Jameis. Just go ahead and start Jameis. It can't be that bad. Go ahead and start Jameis. You know, I know it's like you heard that crack. You want to, oh, it's not that bad. Start Jameis. All right. That's how I feel every time I talk about this team. Like I'm getting punched in the face. Atlanta. I hate to say it, you got to sit Desmond Ridder. Or if you're going to play Desmond Ridder, choose what you're going to do. Either you're going to run or you're going to throw. Either or. Because what I saw on Sunday, I don't know what you're doing on offense. And it's like a gut punch. Especially owning Bijan Robinson. And I speak for all the Bijan Robinson owners out there that are watching this. I mean, And a team that I think that their season is over and they're dead. But it doesn't matter because if they get the number 1 pick, they have the first chance at Caleb Williams, but I don't think Caleb Williams is going there. You have the Chicago Bears. Chicago, it's over. Try to win. I don't know if you're going to win, but it is what it is. All right. Now it's time for teams that need a win to save their season in reality and in fantasy. Let's do the reality first. It's basically the same teams that I said, but a few others. So, Cincinnati first, up and foremost. Like I said, in the last segment, rest Joe Burrow. T. Higgins' ribs are broken. Just put the backups in and do something. Next up, Chicago. It doesn't matter because that was the music for you to tank and get the number 1 pick. All right, so we know that you all want Caleb Williams. We know you have no interest in winning. So go ahead and do your thing, Chicago. Next up, Atlanta. I don't even need to say it anymore. You already know. If you watched what I said the last 2 segments, I don't need to say anything. Next up, Carolina. I already said it. Bryce Young, not going to happen. All right? And this one, you got to censor it out because they're just... The Minnesota Vikings. Like, there's no way you should have 1 win. You need to figure it out. I know it's a lot on your defense, not on your offense, but it is what it is. You need to figure it out. Or your season might be over before it even starts. All right, speaking of those teams. In fantasy, first up at 0-4, Poppy Henny. Poppy Henny, Keenan Allen did you no favors. Kyle Pitts did you no favors. Darren Waller did you no favors. I think Josh Jacobs had a decent game, but he's not knocking on that door yet. But let's see what happens. But at 0-4, in a fantasy league like ours, you cannot have no more than 5 or 6 losses. So your season is almost over. Next up,
I am going to commit great crime. I'm going to bust nut in water tower.
is me. I only have 1 win, and I need to figure it out. I have some decent pieces on my team, but I don't know. I don't know. I thought that things would be different with a different result, but looks like I'll be hosting the barbecue on Sunday for the members of the bottom. Come on down. We're gonna have some ribs and some oxtails and some other stuff, but it sucks to be me right now. Next up, for teams that need a win to save their season, Canes Gang. Canes Gang. Canes Gang is one of the newest members of beachfront property in the bottom, and it's good to have you. It's good to have you, Canes Gang. You're welcome. Go ahead and get another loss.
Another one.
And another.
Another one.
And another loss.
Another one.
We welcome it down here at the bottom. You can come down. We have barbecues every Sunday as we watch the games and watch our fantasy teams lose. And, you know, I mean, you have a team that has no quarterbacks. And if your receivers and your other guys don't put up numbers after losing Nick Chubb, I mean, you're just That's a preview of the music that we're playing on Sunday for all us losers, Canes Gang. So join the crowd. And next up, another team that's just Future. Let me give you some words of wisdom here, my friend. Kyler Murray's not playing this year.
Bruh.
Dalvin Cook is not doing anything.
Bruh.
It's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. But we welcome you. You can knock on my door. You can knock on my door anytime. We'll always welcome you down to the bottom, their Future. But if you and Canes Gang and me and Henny don't get no wins come soon, then our season is over. Now for the award winning, you need to make a trade to save your season.
If you got a little dick.
Oh, there we go. That one's better. Sorry about that. You need to make a trade to save your season. First up, Henny. Henny, you are lucky that I think in Miami Boyz history, we've only been there for 3 years. I am correct. You have gotten no doormats this year. No doormats this year. People have saved you. You've gotten no doormats this year at 0-4. I think that's a Miami Boyz first. Am I right? All right. You have a few assets left. You might want to make a trade to save your season and stop relying. I am right on those tight ends because, yeah, it might be for you at 0-4. Next up, Canes Gang. Kane's gang has the assets, meaning draft picks. Am I correct? I would be. Kane's gang has the assets to trade someone who is struggling for a quarterback, yet you don't try to trade for a quarterback. You're just going to ride it out with Ryan Tannehill and Desmond Ridder?
Bruh, 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 bruh.
Either you make a trade and save your season, or we'll be having a lot of barbecues come Sundays, my friend, because you're already down at the bottom, and we welcome you. A guy who contended for best record, a guy who contended for most points, is now at the bottom because he lost Nick Chubb and he has no quarterbacks, yet Desmond Ridder. I'm sorry.
Bruh,
Desmond Ridder.
bruh,
Mac Jones.
bruh,
Bailey Zappi.
bruh,
Ryan Tannehill.
bruh, 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 bruh.
I don't know what that is, but if those were my quarterbacks, I'd be on the horn trying to trade one of those first round draft picks to try to save my season. And last but not least,
Bruh, 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 bruh.
future.
Bruh,
Dalvin Cook, done.
bruh,
Kyler Murray,
bruh,
done.
bruh,
Joe Burrow,
bruh,
done.
bruh,
Dallas Goedert,
bruh,
done.
bruh.
You got Kirk Cousins, you got Glock Purdy, but it's not enough.
Bruh, bruh, bruh.
I don't know. I don't know what to do or what to say, because you need help in a lot of positions. A lot of positions. But like you told me this week on the chat, you still got your first round pick, man. You might want to make a trade and save your season before it's over. All right. Time for the award-winning what is that? What the hell? You are who we thought you were. And I play, as we always do, we show homage, and we play the late, great Denny Green.
Four picks against Gross, 22 fumbles. What do you see about the Bears? We shut them down that way.
No, we just the Bears are what we thought they were. They're what we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bullshit? Bullshit. We played them in the third game. Everybody played three quarters. The Bears are what we thought they were. That's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
Full disclosure, we're only in week 5, so we're not crowning anybody. But thank you, Denny. You are who we thought you were. First up,
But they are who we thought they were.
the champ, the Commish, the guy who got Puka Nacua off of the waiver wire and who is 4-0. So kudos to you, champ. You are who we thought you were, and that is why you're the champ. Next up,
We thought they were. And we let them off the hook. But they are who we thought they were.
next up, Chino. Chino, you are who we thought you were. Even though you had one loss, you digressed. You came back this week with a vengeance. You mopped the floor with me, and you won your third stud of the week. I know it's just gas money, but I mean,
They were. And we let them off the hook. Were. But they are who we thought they were.
you are who we thought you were, sir. So kudos to you, and kudos to you for stud of the week. Next up, haven't heard Teddy. Teddy, listen to me, man. Hopefully the baby's okay. Hopefully everything's going good or whatever. But Teddy, man, what's up, man? Let's get vocal, man. I'm gonna start calling you the quiet assassin, but
They are who we thought they were.
you are who we thought you were. Silent, deadly, 4-0. Has every, like, somebody gets hurt, I go in the search and I look who has their backup, and Teddy has everybody's backup. You know, kudos to you, sir. You are who we thought you were. 4-0 for Teddy, 3-1 for Chino, 4-0 for the champ. Congratulations, you are who we thought you were. And thank you, Denny, for taking us out.
But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Except these guys aren't letting anybody off the hook. Next up, the award-winning finale. You've asked for it. You've wanted it. Well, here we go. Yep, you know what it is. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. And we got two guys on here. One of them, let's do some trivia. One of them finished as the runner-up for the championship. And the second one finished as one of the runners-up for most points and best record. And now they're on the mighty have fallen. So without further ado, first up, Kane's Gang. Kane's Gang. And I was accused of tanking because I didn't start, no pun intended, Tank Dell. And this is going to sound repetitive to some of you because it was already discussed on Cyber Chat. Just go back up Cyber Chat and see all the discussions. I was accused of openly tanking because I didn't start Tank Dell, I started Braxton Berrios based on the matchup, right? Kane's Gang, multiple first-round picks, has Desmond Ridder, Mac Jones, and has Ryan Tannehill, but will not trade for a quarterback. But I'm openly tanking. Lost Nick Chubb. Lost T. Higgins with broken ribs. Won't make a trade to save his season. Which is why he is on how the mighty have fallen. Because his team is like... Team's struggling right now. Doesn't feel good to be on the bottom, Kane's Gang. But let's see what you do with the trade deadline looming at the end of this month to see if that you make a move to save your season or if you do something to save your season. But we'll see. Next up.
Bruh, 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 bruh.
The runner-up for the Miami Boyz championship in 2022 had one of the worst trades ever, getting Kyler Murray, DK Metcalf, basically gave away Alexander Madison and was like, I'm not going to have any running backs, this, and the other, and is now feeling the effects when he was set up nicely. But it's not working. It's funny because Ebony and Ivory here are grouped together, but Future, have it your way. It's funny how the person that you traded with, that both of you guys, which is punishment from the fantasy gods, both of you guys are on How the Mighty Have Fallen, and both of you guys are on the bottom. That you guys made the trade or whatever. Kane's gang is not working out for you, and then Future, your team got worse. You have to pray every Sunday to have a miracle game by Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins to actually be in the discussion of not being in How the Mighty Have Fallen. But
Bruh.
first runner-up for the championship in history to win Stud of the Week, change his name, get humbled by the fantasy gods, and then owe $25 for Doormat of the Week. First, I think, no, you know what? I think I might be wrong. I think Poppy Henny did it as well. You know, so you're in good company. You know. I don't know, man. You and Kane's gang need to make a trade, save your season. But I don't know if you have anything to trade. Or you can just ride it out, and we'll see you at the barbecue on Sunday. That wraps it up for week 4, Miami Boyz. You know what? No, I'm sorry. I spoke too soon. We go to the sleeper app. Forgive me for that. All right, week 4 results, sleeper app. Axe Capital lost 242.50 to the Stud of the Week Chino, 363.19. You had the champ win 289.24 over Kane's gang, 177.03. Then you had Goggles won 307.24 to over Cheesehead, who's not that far from the bottom himself, 188.95. Teddy at 4-0 won 273.63 over Future, who was 174.78. Huncho, you are the Doormat of the Week. You make enough money. Go ahead and sell that $25. And Poppy No Henny, Boston Henny, lost 231.39, and Mikey won 303.93 over Poppy Henny. Here are your standings for the Bad Boy Records division. You have the champ at 4-0. You have Sean at 3-1. Goggles at 2-2. Kane's gang at 1-3. And yours truly at 1-3. In the Death Row Records division, you have Teddy at 4-0. Cheesehead at 2-2. Mikey at 2-2 with no Jahmyr Gibbs. Hendricks at 1-3. And Henny at 0-4. Here are your week 5 matchups. You have Axe Capital versus Henny in the Doormat Bowl. The Doormat Bowl. Next up, you have the game of the week. You have the champ versus the stud of the week. You have Chino versus the champ. This is my game of the week. Next up, you have Goggles versus Kane's gang. Goggles versus Kane's gang. Then up, you have Mikey versus Future. Mikey versus Future. And then you have Cheesehead versus Teddy. Cheesehead versus Teddy. And those are your week 5 matchups. Let me go ahead and get the weekly report out the way. Money Mike's had a lineup that was 98% out of their perfect possible lineup for 303.93 out of a possible 311 points. So Mikey, you set the best lineup that you could set. Kudos to you. The worst manager was Kane's gang, who had 177.03 out of a possible 274.22 points. Set the wrong lineup. Next up, biggest blowout was Sean, 363.19 over me, 242.50. won by 50%. Narrowest victory was Mikey over Henny. Henny had 231.39. Mikey had 303.93. Stud of the week is Sean with 363.19. Doormat of the week, send me $25 to the Zelle. Future with 174.78. Overachiever was Sean, who overachieved over their projection of $299. He got 363.19. Lowest score, of course, the Doormat of the week. Future with 174.78. And finished below expectations of 35%. Quarterback of the week was Sean with Josh Allen with 74.54. Running back of the week was Sean with 87 from CMC. Wide receiver of the week was the champ with 74.8 points from AJ Brown. Tight end of the week was Teddy, who was undefeated, with Cole Kmet at 42.5. Quarterback bench warmer of the week, because he didn't need him, and that's scary, was the champ with CJ Stroud with 62.54. Running back bench warmer of the week was, of course, Kane's gang with David Montgomery, who has 72 points on the bench. Wide receiver bench warmer of the week, because he didn't need him, was Teddy with DJ Moore with 45.3. Tight end bench warmer of the week, because he didn't need him, was Chino with David Burntface Njoku with 22.3. Now I can officially say that we're done. There you have it, boys. That is the Week 4, Week 5 preview, weekly review preview, Week 4, Week 5 of the NFL. Hopefully this new, hopefully this new format works, because I cannot go live on YouTube. So I will see you again, and we will do this earlier. I will do this on Tuesday, and not Wednesday, but Tuesday of Week 5. Commish out.